It isn't what you have or who you are or where you are or what you are doing that makes you happy or unhappy. It is what you think about it. Don't be afraid of enemies who attack you. Be afraid of the friends who flatter you. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Any fool can criticize, complain, and condemn, and most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. When dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but with creatures bristling with prejudice and motivated by pride and vanity. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Everybody in the world is seeking happiness, and there is one sure way to find it. That is by controlling your thoughts. Happiness doesn't depend on outward conditions. It depends on inner conditions. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. When we hate our enemies, we are giving them power over us, power over our sleep, our appetites, our blood pressure, our health, and our happiness. People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. Talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours. Remember, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. If you are not in the process of becoming the person you want to be, you are automatically engaged in becoming the person you don't want to be. Be wiser than other people if you can, but do not tell them so. Actions speak louder than words, and a smile says, "I like you. You make me happy. I am glad to see you." That is why dogs make such a hit. They are so glad to see us that they almost jump out of their skins. So naturally, we are glad to see them. Even God doesn't propose to judge a man till his last days. Why should you and I? Knowledge isn't power until it is applied. The best possible way to prepare for tomorrow is to concentrate with all your intelligence, all your enthusiasm, on doing today's work superbly today. That is the only possible way you can prepare for the future. No matter what happens, always be yourself. 2 men looked out from prison bars. One saw the mud, the other saw stars. Be more concerned with your character than with your reputation, for your character is what you are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. You can't win an argument. You can't, because if you lose it, you lose it. And if you win it, you lose it. If you can't sleep, then get up and do something instead of lying there and worrying. It's the worry that gets you, not the loss of sleep. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. One reason why birds and horses are not unhappy is because they are not trying to impress other birds and horses. One of the tragic things I know about human nature is that all of us tend to put off living. We are all dreaming of some magical rose garden over the horizon, instead of enjoying the roses that are blooming outside our windows today. Remember, happiness doesn't depend upon who you are or what you have. It depends solely upon what you think. Let's not allow ourselves to be upset by small things we should despise and forget. Remember, life is too short to be little. I have come to the conclusion that there is only one way under high heaven to get the best of an argument, and that is to avoid it. Avoid it as you would avoid rattlesnakes and earthquakes. All men have fears, but the brave put down their fears and go forward, sometimes to death, but always to victory, was the motto of the King's Guard in ancient Greece. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. Today is our most precious possession. It is our only sure possession. Instead of condemning people, let's try to understand them. Let's try to figure out why they do what they do. That's a lot more profitable and intriguing than criticism, and it breeds sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. To know all is to forgive all. Why talk about what we want? That is childish, absurd. Of course, you are interested in what you want. You are eternally interested in it. But no one else is. The rest of us are just like you. We are interested in what we want. Our fatigue is often caused not by work, but by worry, frustration, and resentment. Always have something to say. The man who has something to say and who is known never to speak unless he has is sure to be listened to. Criticism is dangerous because it wounds a person's precious pride, hurts his sense of importance, and arouses resentment. If some people are so hungry for a feeling of importance that they actually go insane to get it, imagine what miracle you and I can achieve by giving people honest appreciation this side of insanity. You can sing only what you are. You can paint only what you are. You must be what your experiences, your environment, and your heredity have made you. For better or for worse, you must play your own little instrument in the orchestra of life. By fighting, you never get enough, but by yielding you get more than you expected. Once I did bad, and that I heard ever. Twice I did good, but that I heard never. Don't be afraid to give your best to what seemingly are small jobs. Every time you conquer one, it makes you that much stronger. If you do the little jobs well, the big ones will tend to take care of themselves. If you argue and rankle and contradict, you may achieve a victory sometimes. But it will be an empty victory because you will never get your opponent's goodwill. Winning friends begins with friendliness. Control your temper. Remember, you can measure the size of a person by what makes him or her angry. The expression one wears on one's face is far more important than the clothes one wears on one's back. The world is full of people who are grabbing and self-seeking. So the rare individual who unselfishly tries to serve others has an enormous advantage. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. The man who goes farthest is generally the one who is willing to do and dare. The sure-thing boat never gets far from shore. If you believe in what you are doing, then let nothing hold you up in your work. Much of the best work in the world has been done against seeming impossibilities. Do you remember the things you were worrying about a year ago? How did they work out? Didn't you waste a lot of fruitless energy on account of most of them? Didn't most of them turn out all right after all? The successful man will profit from his mistakes and try again in a different way. Feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. People who can put themselves in the place of other people, who can understand the workings of their minds, need never worry about what the future has in store for them. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him to find it within himself. You are going to survive, and good things are going to start to happen again. And one day, you are going to look back, and this will not even be such a bad thing. Today is life, the only life you are sure of. Make the most of today. Get interested in something. Shake yourself awake. Develop a hobby. Let the winds of enthusiasm sweep through you. Live today with gusto. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. The person who seeks all their applause from outside has their happiness in another's keeping. If you want enemies, excel your friends. But if you want friends, let your friends excel you. To change somebody's behavior, change the level of respect she receives by giving her a fine reputation to live up to. Act as though the trait you are trying to influence is already one of the person's outstanding characteristics. Life is bigger than processes and overflows and dwarfs them. People who smile, he said, tend to manage, teach and sell more effectively, and to raise happier children. Remember that other people may be totally wrong, but they don't think so. Do the hard jobs first. The easy jobs will take care of themselves. 1. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can possibly happen? 2. Prepare to accept it if you have to. 3. Then calmly proceed to improve on the worst. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Whenever you go out of doors, draw the chin in, carry the crown of the head high, and fill the lungs to the utmost. Drink in the sunshine. Greet your friends with a smile, and put soul into every hand clasp. Our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. Those who do not know how to fight worry die young. There are always 3 speeches for every one you actually gave: the one you practiced, the one you gave, and the one you wish you gave. The unvarnished truth is that almost all the people you meet feel themselves superior to you in some way, and a sure way to their hearts is to let them realize in some subtle way that you recognize their importance and recognize it sincerely. Happiness does not depend on any external conditions. It is governed by our mental attitude. There is only one excuse for a speaker's asking the attention of his audience. He must have either truth or entertainment for them. Every day is a new life to a wise man. You can close more business in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get people interested in you. One of the worst features about worrying is that it destroys our ability to concentrate. The only way to influence people is to talk in terms of what the other person wants. Are you bored with life? Then throw yourself into some work you believe in with all your heart, live for it, die for it, and you will find happiness that you had thought could never be yours. Let's realize that criticisms are like homing pigeons. They always return home. Let's realize that the person we are going to correct and condemn will probably justify himself or herself, and condemn us in return. I judge people by their own principles, not by my own. It has been said that nearly all of our worries and unhappiness come from our imagination and not from reality. Did you ever stop to think that a dog is the only animal that doesn't have to work for a living? A hen has to lay eggs, a cow has to give milk, and a canary has to sing. But a dog makes his living by giving you nothing but love. Acceptance of what has happened is the first step to overcoming the consequences of any misfortune. Save someone's face once and your influence with him rises. Save his face every time you can, and there is practically nothing he won't do for you. If we want to make friends, let's put ourselves out to do things for other people. Things that require time, energy, unselfishness, and thoughtfulness. Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. My mother always said 2 people can't fight if one person doesn't want to. When we are not engaged in thinking about some definite problem, we usually spend about 95% of our time thinking about ourselves. Never be bothered by what people say, as long as you know in your heart you are right. Very important people have told me that they prefer good listeners to good talkers, but the ability to listen seems rarer than almost any other good trait. When we have accepted the worst, we have nothing more to lose, and that automatically means we have everything to gain. Why prove to a man he is wrong? Is that going to make him like you? Why not let him save his face? He didn't ask for your opinion. He didn't want it. Why argue with him? Always avoid the acute angle.